Hi everyone, so today's video is about publish or perish. Now, if you've worked in academia, if you're at a university, you might well have heard this expression, publish or perish. Essentially, it's saying that as academics, if we don't continue to publish our work and our research, our careers are going to be over. In today's video, I thought we'd chat a little bit about this idea and actually, is it true? Is it the case that as academics we must continue to publish our research in order to keep our careers alive? So first things first, I actually looked up who said the phrase. So I didn't know who said the publish or perish phrase, but apparently it was first reported in a book. So the book was called The Academic Man, and it was reported to have been in this book in 1942 by the sociologist Logan Wilson. Now, I think the publish or perish phrase actually got used before that. So I've seen some evidence that people said actually other people said it before. But I think in Wilson's book, it was the first time that it was actually, in a written book that people then saw. And yeah, so essentially the view is if we don't publish, our academic careers are going to perish. So let's take a step back. Why do we publish? So I think for me, the reason that I want to publish my research is because I want to share my research findings. I do all the research in my lab and that's wonderful, but if it never leaves my lab door, if it never actually goes out into the world and is seen by an audience, be that an audience of like-minded researchers or a wider audience of the public, or indeed my friends and family who sometimes have to hear about my research, if my research wasn't shared, then I'm not quite sure I would be contributing as I would want to the scientific community. But I think there's another very important reason that I suspect we all publish as academics is that we want to stay relevant. So if I am frequently putting out publications, then I'll get known to be working in that particular area, and I will show that I'm staying up to date with the latest thinking, the latest ideas, the latest concepts. So for me, actively publishing shows my relevance to the area, and it shows that I'm interested in communicating my scientific findings. However, from the university point of view, I think publishing is a very important performance indicator. So rightly or wrongly, universities at the moment will look at the number and quality of your publications, and they'll look at them every year when you have your appraisal, and they'll definitely look at them when you're wanting to get promotion, or indeed when you're applying for a research grant. So every year I get from the university a printout of every single publication I've released that year. It's like having a school report card. I can see exactly if I've had a good year for publishing or maybe a less productive year for publishing. And then coupled alongside that, every time I want to apply for a research grant. So if I want to get money to fund my students, I typically have to list out my relevant publications. So yes, publications really do matter in university land. Okay, so then if they really matter, is it true that if I were to stop publishing, my career would perish? I think the word perish is quite a strong word. I think if you don't continue to maintain a publication presence, it will definitely impact your career, but I'm not sure if your career would completely perish. So I'll expand my thinking on this. So as an academic lecturer, I need to publish in order to maintain my relevance and usefulness at the university, and also importantly, my publications help trigger me to win research grants. So if I publish, I'm likely to win a research grant. If I win a research grant, I get a new student. That student then may go on to publish, as I'll be a co-author with them, and you can see we're in a cycle. It's a bit of a cycle. You publish to win more money, to get more students, to work together, to get more publications. Now, if I were to stop doing that, first of all, I think the university would step in to be supportive, to ask what's happening. I am really lucky. I work in a really lovely, friendly department, and I think the first response would be, hey, how can we help? What's gone wrong? Is something impacting your research? Is there a reason you're not able to publish at the moment? What's happening? And I think the university would really try to help a researcher if they were having difficulties putting their research work into publications. Now, if I were not to publish for maybe a couple of years, yes, I think it would impact my career within that university. But I don't think that's that different from industry. So in industry, I didn't publish that much. I published occasionally, but in industry, my focus was more on delivering customer outputs. So I was typically writing reports for customers. And if I stopped writing those reports, then absolutely my line manager would have questioned why. And if I repetitively kept doing it, then yes, it would have impacted my career within that industry. And so that's the same in academia. If I stop publishing this output of my work, then yes, I think it is going to have an impact on my career. That said, if I were to stop publishing completely, but I was really strong on teaching, there might be an opportunity to move away from being, say, a lecturer and go more into a teaching fellow position. So yeah, publish or perish. I think it's a little bit of a harsh statement. I think it does depend on the discipline you're in and the university you work at. And the other thing I think to know is to realise what is a successful publication for you might be different for somebody else. So if you work in one discipline, maybe the successful output for somebody who's doing well is, 4 to 5 journal papers a year, whilst maybe if you work in a different field, maybe you're only targeting one paper every 18 months. So I would definitely say be careful when you compare your publication output. It's very easy to look at these kind of tables of our research output. We can look up how well we're doing or how well we think we're doing compared to other people. But actually, I don't know if it's that helpful to compare your research output and kind of worry that you're behind somebody else's research output or ahead of somebody else's research output. I think for me, I focus on having a quality research output. And that probably is a whole new video, quality versus quantity, and which is the more important thing when you're publishing. But as I said, as for me, I focus on making sure I maintain my research momentum throughout the whole of the year. And I try to ensure that the research outputs that we go out from my group and my area, that they are a quality research output. So more on that, I think, in a future video. We can definitely talk in future more about actually finding the right journal. Does impact factor matter? Does being cited matter? And all of that. But just for today, if you are feeling under pressure to publish a lot, take a step back and think, okay, what can I do to help alleviate some of that pressure on myself? Can I work maybe towards 1 or 2 papers? Can I partner with a colleague? Because we are meant to be doing academia and academic work because it's meant to be fun. And I think sometimes when it gets very busy and it can feel quite stressful and overwhelming, it's easy to forget that actually we started doing academic work because we actually enjoyed researching a particular topic. So yes, we have to publish, but we need to make sure that we're happy as we're doing it. But yeah, if you are interested in academic stuff, do hit like, do subscribe. So my name is Caroline. Probably should have said that at the beginning. I'm a university physics lecturer. This is just a channel where we chat about all things academic. Let me know in the comments what you think about publishing or perishing. You know, how many papers do you want to target each year to try to get out? But yeah, and actually, final comment, because it's quite busy in semester and because I'm actually trying to get papers out right now, I'm going to keep with one video every Monday going out at 10 o'clock, that's UK time. So please do join me next week for another academic video. Stay safe, or look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye.